TheJamies.net.
The Manhattan Cruise Terminal is located in the heart of New York City, near Times Square, Radio City Music Hall, and many other famous landmarks. Embarking on your cruise from the terminal offers a special opportunity to enjoy some fantastic sightseeing as your ship sails away along the Hudson River. In this video, we'll highlight 16 points of interest we saw as our ship, the Carnival Venezia, departed the Manhattan Cruise Terminal for a cruise to Canada in August 2023. Just a quick note that if you enjoy this video, please give us a thumbs up or leave a comment. It really helps our channel. And consider subscribing so you get alerted when we add new videos. Our first point of interest was the Manhattan Cruise Terminal area we embarked at. Originally established in the 1930s as the New York City passenger ship terminal, the area featured advanced finger piers extending into the Hudson River on Manhattan's west side. Historically, this stretch of piers from 84 to 94 gained fame as luxury liner row, hosting renowned ships like the Normandy, Queen Mary, and Queen Elizabeth. During World War II, the piers were used for deploying troops to Europe, including more than 16,000 soldiers that boarded the Queen Mary at Pier 90 during a single embarkation. The next point of interest was the USS Intrepid aircraft carrier, which was located next to the Manhattan Cruise Terminal off the port side, or left side, of our ship. The aircraft carrier served in the U.S. Navy during World War II and the Vietnam War, and the ship was also involved in the recovery of astronauts and space capsules in the early days of the U.S. space program. The Intrepid was permanently docked in New York City in 1982, where it was transformed into a museum with a collection of aircraft and several exhibits related to naval history and space exploration. The third point of interest was 42nd Street, which was located off the port side of our ship. The street is well known for its vibrant theater district, iconic landmarks, and cultural and entertainment life. As our ship passed by, we were treated to a unique, unobstructed view along 42nd Street from one side of Manhattan to the other for just a few seconds. The next point of interest was the two entrances for the Lincoln Tunnel, which were marked by large ventilation towers. The Lincoln Tunnel and the Holland Tunnel, which we saw later in our sail away, are the only two automobile tunnels that run under the Hudson River. The Manhattan entrance of the tunnel was located off the port side of the ship, and the Weehawken, New Jersey entrance was located off the starboard side, or right side of the ship. The 1.5-mile-long tunnel was constructed in stages between 1934 and 1957. The fifth point of interest was the Empire State Building, which was located off the port side of our ship. The 102-story Art Deco skyscraper was completed in 1931 and was the tallest in the world for 40 years. The building, which was named after the nickname of the state of New York, is an iconic symbol of American architecture. The next point of interest was Chelsea Piers, which was located off the port side of our ship. The piers were initially an important passenger ship terminal in the early 1900s, before becoming a cargo terminal in the 1930s. In the 1990s, Piers 59, 60, and 61 were converted into a sports and entertainment complex that include a multi-tiered driving range, sports facilities, 2 full-sized ice rinks, event spaces, a marina, and more. The seventh point of interest was the remnants of Pier 54, which was located off the port side of our ship. Historically, the pier served as a passenger ship terminal, but it's most famously remembered for its connection to the sinking of the RMS Titanic in 1912. The Titanic and its passengers were originally destined for Pier 59, which was owned by the White Star Line. However, the Titanic survivors were rescued by the RMS Carpathia, which was a Cunard Line ship that docked at Pier 54. The next point of interest was the Hoboken Terminal, which was located off the starboard side of our ship. The terminal was open in 1907 and has since remained a major transportation hub, accommodating commuter rail lines, rapid transit, ferries, and more. The prominent Lackawanna sign on the building and the clock tower are both remnants from the building's original owner, the Delaware, Lackawanna, and Western Railroad. The ninth point of interest was the two entrances for the Holland Tunnel. Like the Lincoln Tunnel, the entrances were marked by large ventilation towers, and the Manhattan entrance was located off the port side of the ship. And the Jersey City, New Jersey entrance was located off the starboard side of the ship. The 1.5-mile-long tunnel was constructed between 1920 and 1927. The next point of interest was One World Trade Center, which was located off the port side of the ship. The skyscraper stands at a symbolic 1,776 feet, which made it the tallest building in the Western Hemisphere and the fourth tallest building in the world when it was completed in 2014. Also known as the Freedom Tower, One World Trade Center serves as a moving tribute to the Twin Towers that once defined the New York City skyline. The 11th point of interest was the Colgate clock, which was located off the starboard side of the ship. The clock was originally constructed in 1924 and placed at the top of the Colgate-Palmolive Company headquarters. At 50 feet in diameter, it remains one of the largest clock faces in the world. The clock continues to serve as both a local landmark and a useful timekeeper for commuters and ships along the river. The next point of interest was Ellis Island, which was located off the starboard side of the ship. The island was America's busiest immigrant inspection station from 1892 to 1954 and served as the entry point for over 12 million immigrants. The island symbolized hope and new beginnings for those seeking a better life in the United States. The 13th point of interest was the Brooklyn Bridge, which was located off the port side of the ship. By this point in our sailing, most passengers were getting ready to take photos of the Statue of Liberty off the starboard side of the ship. However, we still had plenty of time to catch a glimpse of the Brooklyn Bridge before we reached Lady Liberty. Completed in 1883, the suspension bridge spans the East River to connect the boroughs of Manhattan and Brooklyn. The next point of interest was the Statue of Liberty. The copper statue, which was a gift from the people of France to the United States, was dedicated in 1886. The statue is a symbol of freedom and democracy, and it is an iconic figure of the United States. The 151-foot-tall statue welcomed millions of immigrants as they arrived by sea for a new life in America. Take note that we couldn't see Lady Liberty's full face until after our ship passed the statue. The 15th point of interest was Fort Wadsworth, which was located off the starboard side of the ship, next to the Verrazzano-Narrows Bridge. With a history dating back to the Revolutionary War, the fort played a significant role in America's coastal defense system. It was claimed that the fort was the longest continuously garrisoned military installation in the United States before it closed in 1994. The next point of interest was the Verrazzano-Narrows Bridge. The double-decker suspension bridge was completed in 1964 and spans the Narrows to connect Staten Island and Brooklyn. The bridge held the title of the longest suspension bridge in the world until 1981. Many passengers celebrated as our ship seemed to barely fit underneath the bridge, and we sailed into the lower New York Bay and towards the Atlantic Ocean. Our final point of interest was Coney Island, which was barely visible in the distance, off the port side of the ship. Located in Brooklyn, the island is well known for its amusement parks, beaches, boardwalk, famous rides like the Wonder Wheel and the Cyclone, and the annual Nathan's Hot Dog Eating Contest. The area's many attractions make it a very popular destination for both locals and tourists. If you're interested in following along as your ship sails away along the Hudson River, we've linked to a copy of our notes in the description below.